Máirín, tell us a little bit about ATGI. You've recently joined ITIC, the Approved Tourist Guides of Ireland. How many members do you have and what sort of services do you provide?
We have 480 members signed up to ATGI this year on the Approved Tourist Guides of Ireland, as you say. Now, the association was founded in 1976, but over 40 years of evolution, I decided a couple of years ago it was time to incorporate, so it's now ATGI CLG. The members like to be part of it because we consider ourselves to be the professional body, if you like, representing the guiding industry and the services that guides provide to a tour.
Very good. And are your members, are they throughout the country? Is it Island of Ireland or is it just the 26 counties?
No, in fact, it's the 4 provinces. Island of Ireland, we have a few members in the north of Ireland who would have, now to be a member of ATGI, you have to be a professionally qualified guide from an approved course in the Republic, but some people in the north in fact decided to do courses in order to qualify for the national badge. So we have 4 provinces, 480, and there are 700 at the moment listed on the Fáilte Ireland listing.
And I was a tour operator in a previous life, so we used to use tour guides on all our tours and programs. And I know the importance of the guide to the visitor experience. Tell us a little bit about that, Máirín. It kind of brings Ireland to life, doesn't it?
Well, may I say I'm very glad you're aware of it, because one of the things which knocked me a bit for sideways when COVID struck Ireland this year, we began to hear about the terrible problems besetting the tourism industry. And when people think of tourism, they think of accommodation, they think of food and drink, they think of visitor attractions. Nobody was mentioning the guides, and we do see ourselves as an essential cog in the wheel because we entertain, we inform, we keep it all together on the road. We are the people who deliver what, if you were a tour operator, what you were selling on from your office, an itinerary. We were the people making that work on the ground from the time the tour started to the time the tour finished. So we make it all work. We see ourselves as an essential cog in the wheel. We have been told by a member of the ITOA that we are the backbone of the industry, but we have come to realise we appear to be the invisible backbone.
And a lot of your members would be multilingual as well, wouldn't they?
Yeah, in fact we offer 21 languages through our membership now, from Arabic to Swedish, so that covers a lot of markets on, you know, when you think about it. I mean, Spanish speaking guides, think of the markets in the world that covers, you know, or French. So yes, and 42%, I'm just saying that from memory now, of our tours last year were requesting linguistic, if you like, guides, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. You mentioned COVID. We can't have a tourism discussion these days without mentioning the dreaded COVID. It sort of came out of left field. None of us expected it this year, but it's truly wiped the business for you and your members, hasn't it, this year?
Well, it has, because you know, we're hearing about the effects of tourism or on tourism. Sorry, so 75%, I think, is the statistic you use in ITIC, Owen. Last week at the council meeting, I heard Dublin saying 83% from overseas. You're saying 75%. For tour guides, our business is probably about 98% from overseas, whether they come on cruise ships or aeroplanes or fly and drive, FITs, you know what, FITs. They come, the Irish people, up to now at any rate, haven't really considered taking a guided tour here in Ireland, which is a great pity because there is so much heritage on everybody's doorstep, but they don't think that way. Even looking at some of the supplements that came out at weekends in the Irish Times over the summer, everybody was talking about staycations. And I was thinking, well, you know, staycations, maybe people would use a tour guide. And it was all about download the free app, which upset me a little bit. Nobody thought about the human guide. And I'm sure you've been on guided tours. I know I have myself. I mean, not only do they bring it alive, interpreting it, they're very topical. You play a recorded message on the open top bus or something like that, and it's saying the same thing today, tomorrow, next week. Nobody edits that.
You mentioned that 98% of your business is international. So therefore, there's only a tiny fraction which is domestic. Do you have any initiatives or thoughts on how you might be able to position yourself better with the domestic market?
One of our members came up with an idea to just promote the idea of exploring the heritage on your own doorstep to the domestic market, people living in Ireland. It's all our country. So keep your eyes peeled for an announcement shortly, which will be called Guide Fest. What's the story? Now, what's the story? That's a great Irish expression. We have volunteers coming forward from the 4 provinces, and they're going to offer a little tour in their own area. So it's something for people to do. It's free of charge. It's getting us out, because not only have we been affected by the whole worry about the lack of income and lack of paychecks, but also your sense of self-worth. You know, you're sitting at home, you should be on the road, you want to be talking, you want to be doing the job you love. You'll never get rich as a tour guide, but we do it because we love it. So this is a reason, let's get out there. So we see it as an opportunity to showcase our linguistic skills, and also to give people living here a reason to get out. The October bank holiday, obviously we have to do that within whatever guidelines will be prevailing at the time from the NEFIT and the government health advice. But given that we are in all over Ireland, hopefully most of that will be in a position to go ahead.
Great.
So we see it as a way of giving something back.
Yeah, I think it's a great initiative, and it's great to have something positive to look forward to, because it's been such a tough few months. You mentioned some of your members got the COVID payment and so on, but your members generally would be self-employed, wouldn't they? So there have been issues and complications there in terms of government support and social welfare support over the summer months.
That's right. There were a lot of issues, particularly at the beginning, because now, and everybody knows that this really it was rushed through, and people maybe didn't think of all the ramifications. But when the COVID payments, or the CPUP as it was then called, was initially announced, it was not the self-employed. The language around it did not cover the self-employed. So that was one thing. But the other thing was, you had to say what day you were laid off. Now, we didn't get laid off. We got cancelled.
Yeah, nobody got a P45.
No, exactly. But my diary just started evaporating. I had a tour in January. My next one was the 8th of March. That got cancelled, but it was put out to June, because in March, everybody thought this will be all over in 2 months. So we kept getting cancellations. And essentially, by May, we pretty well realised that we were not going to be working this year. So, yeah, a lot of hearts were broken over the COVID payments.
Absolutely.
And now, of course, it's being reduced. It's being related to what people earned in 2019 or 2018 in some cases. And through the Tourism Recovery Task Force, we also requested that some sort of tax recognition be given to tourist guides, similar to the way musicians, for example, are dealt with, because we pay our tax based on a 52-week year. So we'd be due to pay our returns now for 2019. And if somebody had put that money aside to pay their tax bill for 2019, but they've no work in 2020, well, that money might get them through, you know, a fallow period in the winter. So we that's something we have asked for as well.
Yeah, and fingers crossed you get over the line with it. I'll wrap up here, but your general view on how the government views the broader tourism sector. Does it take it seriously enough? Does it give it enough sort of love and attention?
I'm surprised that the impact of 9.5 billion euro and 265,000 jobs hasn't had more resonance with the government, considering the importance of the industry and the benefit it brings, and tourism being also an export service. I do feel that the government should, in terms of tourism as a business and contributor to the bottom line, could be viewed a little bit more seriously. I don't believe they're listening as hard as I'd like them to.
Máirín, thank you so much.